All right. Okay, now it's working.
Okay, nice.
Nice. The Audacity wasn't working for a second.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Welcome, yeah.
We're here again.
We
got
again.
Popcorn. We got a glass of cold water.
I've got a glass of milk because I'm a freak. I love how in like the second or third episode I talked about how I hated how podcasts. I think it was at the end of the second episode. I hate how podcasters go like, "Hi, I'm," and everything, and yet like every episode we've done like "Welcome to Bit Movies," where we talk a bit about movies, but
we haven't done that bit at this episode until you said it.
No, but I was making fun of the fact that we do it. So does that technically count as introing the podcast?
Shit.
I don't think it does.
I think an ironic intro still counts as an intro.
Fuck.
Sorry.
That is an ironic intro.
Shit.
Yeah.
Let's start again.
All right. So we're eating popcorn as standard. Drinking milk. I think, okay, I was listening to the audio from the last one. We brought it closer. I think this distance is, I want to bring it closer just to be safe.
Okay.
Because last time I didn't adjust the audio because that involved, we recorded it on Tuesday and I released it on Tuesday. So that would actually involve like going through and listening to it. And I was like, nah, fuck that. So I think this distance should be fine. And if it's too soft, then I'll adjust the audio. Because I feel like if it's too loud,
you can end up with it like clipping, and then even if you turn it down, it sounds like shit.
Exactly, but with it too loud, people can kind of turn it down. With it too soft, even if you turn it up, the volume is it's too soft to hear. So like loudness isn't great, but it's better than softness.
Do you know about the Loudness Wars? Which I just love the title.
What did you call me?
So the Loudness Wars, basically, in like record labels, when they make, say, CDs or whatever, they've slowly been increasing the volume, and you can look at it like Queen songs or whatever, like originally released in the 70s, and they've been releasing them like every year. They do a re-release. And every time they remaster it, they bump up the loudness just a tiny bit. And it's gone from like, shit is like twice as loud as it was like 40 years ago, which means that you lose, I don't know, quality.
Yeah, no, that's true. Like, it's like when you see all those like fucking deep fried memes and they're all really loud.
Yeah, basically they've been deep frying movies, deep frying music for the last 40 years.
We're not on our Bit Movies bit yet. That's too early for the
music.
Bit
Spin-off podcast.
Oh, Bit Music. Actually, it does remind me of a podcast I really like. This is just me plugging another podcast. I really listened to one episode, but I really liked it because it was with MGMT. It's called Song Exploder. And
that's by fucking Radiotopia or Radiolab.
So, Radio Lab, I think it is. Yeah. Either way, whoever it's by, they interview like
the one
artists
started by Roman Mars.
Yeah, they interview artists about one song they did, and the one I listened to was MGMT's. The one in the Spider-Man trailer.
Okay, that doesn't help me, but there's a song. They did an episode on the song.
I will remember it by the end of the podcast. I really hope. Time to Pretend.
Okay.
Yeah. Did it even before the end of the podcast. Bam.
I'll pretend I know that song.
Time to Pretend by MGMT is a great song. It was in the Spider-Man Homecoming trailer. And they talk about...
Of course you would know which song is in every single Spider-Man trailer.
You shut your dirty whole mouth. Yes, I was watching... I just been rewatching Spectacular Spider-Man since last night. It's great. They talk about it, and they talk about the like evolution of the song. I feel like I'm kind of tempted. Bit music. Let's keep bit music on the back burner.
I could talk a lot about music. I listen to a lot of music.
I could talk a lot about music as well.
I have many opinions.
Because also, if it's bit music, it means it's literally just this podcast, but instead of movies, we talk a little bit about music. It's the same fucking concept.
Talking about music, fuck it. Let's talk a bit about music. I recently got Spotify. Here to say...
Yeah, you said you haven't used Spotify before.
Using Spotify, it doesn't have all the artists I like on it, which is kind of annoying. Spotify, for finding new artists, phenomenal.
Have you listened to how long has it been since you had it?
Oh, a while.
How long's a while? Like,
I don't know.
A week? 2 weeks?
3 weeks?
3 weeks? Okay.
Maybe.
I don't know if that's long. It may be
I listen to enough music. Yeah, it's long enough.
For Discover Weekly? Okay, Spotify is Discover Weekly. I've only had it be like wrong once or twice, but holy shit, they know what I like. Because I always listen to music and I'm like, oh, I like this, but I'm too scared to look at the same artist in case they have different stuff and it ruins the original song. Or I'm like, I don't know where to look for other things like this. But also there's song radios, like I really like this song, and I did go to song radio. Fuck me, some bops in there, and my Discover Weekly always bop. That's creepy how good their algorithm is.
See, the thing is, I don't listen really to songs. I more listen to albums. So, like, on the way here, I listened to an album, start to finish. It just so happened that as I pulled up the album finished, you're good at that. I said that I was going to arrive at 12 today. I arrived at 12 exactly today, and the album was the exact length of the drive. Fucking perfect start to my day.
I think that's a sign we got to do bit music now.
Yeah.
We could just do honestly, we could just do a music podcast, but it's a very short, like just a 15, 20-minute podcast.
We could do that next episode.
I mean, we could just do a different... Well, this is still going to be bit movies. We'll talk about that later. We'll put it on the back.
Yeah.
But how are you enjoying Spotify?
Spotify, it's good. Their queue system isn't the best, though. I came from this app, so I recently switched to Android, and I never used Apple Music when I was using Apple. I used this other app, shout out to the Denon Music app. The best queuing system. If I
describe it to me. I want to see the differences between Spotify.
So, you have a queue.
Yep.
The queue is basically a playlist, and every time you want to make music, you add it to this playlist. So the queue, it's very complicated. You can add music. So on Spotify, you can add to the end of the queue. That's it. On Denon, you can play next, or add to end of queue, or play now and replace the entire queue, or just play now. So there's way more options. Because if I'm listening to music, I want to be able to queue up a playlist, then queue up an album after that, then a playlist after that. And then as I'm listening, I want to be able to play a couple of random songs and not disrupt the order.
You kind of can do that. So for play next, what you can do is... there's
on Spotify, you cannot add a playlist to queue.
And a full playlist to queue?
No.
No, that you can't. Yeah, no. It's not the best, but you can. So with a queue, you can move the order of the song. So you can add something to queue and then drag it up to the top.
Which takes so much effort than pressing a single button.
Exactly. No, I agree. But there is a way around it. Or as the other song ends, you just click the next song that you want to play next, and it doesn't replace the queue. It just plays that song, and whatever's queued next will still go next. But I do like the option of just getting rid of an entire queue. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, there's no way to clear the queue apart from clicking on the last song and then hitting next, which is annoying. And I really hate the amount of times I accidentally click on something and replace everything that's playing, and then I have to go back and find what was playing. Because on this app, the Denon Audio app, if you're replacing the queue, it says, "Are you sure you want to do it?" And when I first started using the app, I was like, "This is stupid. Of course I want to do it." But now that I've moved to Spotify, I'm like, "Shit, yeah, please let me know if." Because sometimes I'll queue up a bunch of music and then accidentally skip it all, and then have to find all those artists again and queue it up again, and it's such a pain in the ass.
Because the annoying thing, what I hate about Spotify with queues is you queue up a song, and you accidentally hit next on it, right?
Yeah.
You can't go back. There's back and forward on Spotify. Yeah. You can't go back to the one you queued. It removes it from the queue like you played it. And I'm like, no, I didn't mean to skip that. Just put it back like it was there.
Whereas the Denon Audio app, if you go even to the end of the queue and hit next, it just jumps to the beginning of the queue, because the queue is just a playlist that plays on repeat.
I like that.
And then there's a button you can press which says save queue as playlist. So if you make a queue and you're like, I really like this, which I've done before, like I'll be at a party playing a bunch of music and I go, oh, this is actually a good party playlist and it's 4 hours. I'll save it and then I can play it whenever I want.
So you can't get that on Android? That app's not on Android?
It is on Android, but I'm enjoying Spotify for the whole finding new artists. Because when I used that to get my music, I'd have to download it off the internet. Which
it is easier on Android to download it off, straight onto the phone, which I really love. Which is why, I use Android. I'm glad, I just got my best mate onto Android, because through work perks, I discounts off Samsung's, and the S25G was down from $1,400 to $1,000, and then for his birthday, I was like, I'm giving you $100 for your phone anyway. And it ended up being the same price as another one. So I got him a cheeky S20 5G, and he's loving it. I'm glad I got him off iPhone.
I've been watching TV shows before I go to sleep, because it's the first time I've had a big screen. Holy shit, OLED with all the lights off, and the screen goes black, and it's just black, and then
Have you got Dolby Atmos turned on?
I don't know. Dolby
Atmos really increases the sound quality. Just I never have it turned off. I turn it on. I just highly recommend. They introduced it with the S9s. It's phenomenal, the Dolby Atmos. You can tell that, you get used to it, but you can tell the difference when you first okay, Dolby Atmos. Don't mind if I do. So on this episode, I completely forgot to think of any topics because I was away for a week for my birthday.
How was that?
So, for those who don't know, Oh my god. Okay, so also a picture of my cousin as a baby just fell down behind me. It's like a really, and it's not like a small picture. This is like a canvas frame, bigger than my computer. Picture of a baby's face, and they are now a small child. I can't remember which one this is. I think this is Cassie, who's like 12 now.
Incredible.
I don't know why this. Yeah, that just felt that was kind of terrifying. Anyway, goodbye, Cassie. Cassie, if you're listening, which you're not, my uncle may be listening.
Oh,
Because I talked to my uncle, told him I had a podcast, and he was like, "I'll give it a listen." I'm like, "You don't have to, because if you don't like it, this is to any of my friends. If you don't like what we talk about, don't listen. I'm not expecting anybody to listen. If you want to listen, that's fantastic. Thank you. And if you enjoy the content, that means even more. But don't listen just because we're friends. I don't expect that of anyone because I don't.
Shit, our listener retention just dropped to 0.
Yeah, everyone. Fuck. Shit. God damn it.
Anyway, you were saying something. You went away.
Yeah. Sorry, I went away. For those who don't know, I hate my birthday. For several reasons. Yeah.
Birthday's pretty bad, not gonna lie.
I won't get into why. Isaac kind of knows why, but we won't get into why right now. Maybe in Bit Trauma. Our spin-off podcast where we talk a bit about trauma, but mostly other stuff.
Mostly we just cry.
Mostly it's just crying sounds, and then we talk a bit about a trauma and then more crying sounds. So a lot of crying.
It's just therapy, but it's a podcast.
Yeah.
And the listener is a psychologist.
Yeah, like you don't give us anything back, but we act like you're talking back to us and everything. Yeah. Fun fact: I cry like once a year, big cry. Like I cry. I cried at the end of Jumanji. Welcome to the next level. I cried at Jumanji. Welcome to the jungle. But like a little cries at the end because it's a happy ending. I do one big cry a year. Haven't had my big cry yet, and this has been a fucked year, and I still haven't done my big cry. So which is leading me to believe. I had popcorn in my throat. This isn't me doing a bit. I was like literally just trying to clear it out. Something worse is going to happen to me later in this year. That's going to give me my big cry, which is a very upsetting thing. Anyway, don't like my birthday. Went away for it to get away from everything. Just get away from the world. Went down to Kiama for 3 days with a friend. Spent majority of my birthday in a quarry, so very on brand. Climbed through a quarry, took some photos, threw some rocks. Fun fact, throwing rocks in a quarry. Oh, so much fun. Good. So much fun.
Just throwing rocks.
Just like your primate brain. Yeah, lizard brain comes out and just throwing rocks.
You want to see how far you can throw the rocks?
Oh, I was doing big rocks because it was like going into the ocean. So like, there's some videos of me saying, "This bitch empty, yeet," throwing these huge fucking rocks. I'm getting some distance. That was nice. I got a full hot oil body massage by our Airbnb host. She was very lovely. I didn't get to say that I was a hand model.
Oh,
because it didn't come up, and then we started talking while she was giving the massage, and I didn't. Like, it didn't come up naturally where I could be like, I used to be a hand model. Like, it didn't come up. And
you could be like, I used to always get hand massages because I was a hand model.
I could have, but I didn't want to betray her trust like that. She was too lovely. But it didn't come up naturally. It didn't come, because I wanted it to happen when we first met. Be like, "Oh, what do you do for work?" And I'd be like, "Well, I used to be a hand model." Didn't happen. So I didn't get to do that. But we did watch both Deathly Hallows, because it was on TV. Got some pizza, chilled out, got some ice cream, went to the blowhole. It was nice. And then I went away with, other friends, a couple of days after, up to Wiseman's Ferry, Hawkesbury River. Friend has a boathouse up there. Very lovely.
Boathouse or houseboat?
Boathouse. So it's like, well, it's a like chalet kind of house along the water, in a kind of caravan style park where like somebody owns it and then you buy a house there. And they've done it up massively. It used to be terrible. They've done it up. It's super lovely. And my friend Whitney, thank you for taking me. It was amazing. I think Whitney listened to the podcast.
If a houseboat is a house that goes on the water, is a boathouse a boat that goes on land?
That's a car, Isaac.
Boathouse.
That's a car.
No, but it's got
but a boathouse is what you have.
A boathouse has to be a boat that serves the function of a house, but is on land.
No, so because they have boathouses. Boathouses are a thing.
No, but they're houseboats, not boathouses.
No. So boathouses are as in like where they store...
houses for boats?
The last thing I searched on Google was Omnitrix replica.
What is this, a house for boats?
Boathouse. Hold on, I'm going to define boathouse.
I don't think a boathouse is a thing.
A boathouse, it literally, because I just searched boathouse and it was there. A shed at the edge of a river or lake used for housing boats. So it's technically not a house for a boat. It's not so it's
not the opposite of a houseboat.
No, it's not. It's a house for a boat. It wasn't a boathouse. Okay, so it was a chalet along the water. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, that weekend, very good, but we focused, so when I went to Kama, was great because we like didn't talk about my birthday at all. It was nice. Went away with my other friends. Pretty much entirely was like about. I was like, yes, you're the birthday boy. We got a cake and everything, and I was like, my god, has my anxiety peaked? I still had a great time. I went with my best friends, got some headshots done. Oh, I want to talk about that later. And it was a great time, but I was like, man, this is the complete opposite of like what my anxiety was like when I was in Kiama. It was a very interesting weekend. I had no point to that.
No point.
It
was just a story.
Except for the fact it was a story now leading into my original point of I didn't think of any topics, so I thought of topics to talk about today.
I vaguely thought of topics, but I don't know. I feel like this episode kind of snuck up on me.
It did, right? Because I was away for a whole week, and I was like, fuck, that's nice. And then I got back to work, and then I was like, oh god, I need to message Isaac. And thankfully we had today free. We both were like, yeah. I mean, you're going to work after this, but, you know. But, so I got some... I'll start off. I've got some topics.
I have a couple of topics. I haven't thought too hard, but...
Neither.
I have some.
I have some things I can
compared to last week's episode where we like both watched the same movie and wrote notes, this is a lot more disorganized.
It's a lot more disorganized, but we did get a couple questions from a friend as well, which we'll talk about later. But first, I'd like to apologize to Lauren. Lauren did my headshots over the weekend. She's one of my best friends. We're like the same person, and I think I would die without her. She's the light of my life. I want to apologize to Lauren because last episode I said in any of my podcasts nobody's ever sent me questions. That is complete and utter lie. I'm very sorry she pulled me up on it. In my original podcast, the Simply Ridiculous podcast, with my friend Liam, which never really took off for several reasons, she sent many questions. She even made us custom underwear for Christmas.
Incredible.
Which had veto on the back of it on the line through it because we used to say veto a lot, veto things. We wouldn't have a veto. We'd just be like, oh, we'll veto that. And then I never edited it. So that was, and I still have that underwear. It's some of my most prized possession. But sorry, Lauren.
I think you should try and get a pair of underwear for every day of the year as well.
I actually do want to talk about underwear today. That's my next point. My new underwear. So, for my birthday, my nan got me new underwear from Bonds. Some very fancy ones. I'm wearing them right now.
He's
sneak
showing
peek,
me.
just through the shorts. I'm pulling them down through the shorts. They're very lovely, and I want to talk about them because Mac Weldon sponsor us. Have you heard of Mac Weldon? Through other podcasts, yeah. Please sponsor us if you're listening. Just give us actual money. Give us actual money, please. But no, they're very lovely underwear. My other underwear was fine, but a bit old, a couple years old, and it's doing the job. But these are newer underwear. They're nice. They're very lovely. I feel like I'm wearing nothing at all.
Yeah,
nothing at all.
Why not just wear nothing at all?
Isaac, stop! Not with the audience listening. I'm just gonna rattle through my topics, get them out. Just fucking done.
Oh, I've got some topics. I'll read some.
Okay. Well, I've already talked. The next topic I had was talk about how I forgot to think of topics, which
You've already done
I've already
that.
done that. And then, do you want to talk, or do you want me to finish mine? Because the next topic I have does lead into a bit of a me talking.
I also have all my topics and things that I'm going to lead into.
Okay, I'm going to finish mine so then we can just get onto yours.
Good.
Okay, so recently, I got headshots last weekend because at the start of the year, I popped onto Star Now because for those who don't know, and you all should know because why you're not Uber fans stalking us, I want to be an actor. And so hopefully, COVID permitting next year.
I want to be dead.
Same,
dude.
Yeah, like I'll do drugs in Hollywood and get an overdose.
Hell yeah,
fuck yeah. So I want to be an actor. Hopefully, moving to Vancouver next year for that. But got some headshots done, and when I hopped onto Star Now, I was like, "Cool, gonna get this done." This was all before COVID.
Who were you shooting?
I was gonna make that joke with when I posted the headshot being like, got some headshots they missed, and be like, fuck you for taking it.
You're welcome.
Before I had the opportunity. You do this every time.
Yeah.
You get to the punchline before I have a chance.
I can see where the punchline is.
The Tinder bit, but the Tinder bit was even better than my punchline. Yeah. You always get to the punchline before I get there, and I love that's why I love you because we're on such the same wavelength, but you ruined my thunder. But I got some headshots. And when I originally hopped onto Star Now at the start of the year, this is all before COVID. And then COVID hit. So I was like, I can't do shit. I've recently started looking again because I cut my hair and I was like, I don't want to get headshots done until I cut my hair because the plan originally was to cut my hair. It took a bit longer than expected, but I cut all my hair off.
All of it. You can't see him right now, but he's completely bald. He doesn't even have eyebrows.
Yeah, don't even have eyebrows. Pubes gone. Nipple hair ripped out. I have more nipple hair. I have more hair on my nipples than I do my face. Because I suck at growing facial hair.
But you're great at growing nipple hair.
I'm great at growing nipple hair. Holy shit.
You can grow an incredible
Do you
nipple
want to see my
goatee.
nipple hair?
I have no opinions either way.
That's some nipple hair. That's some nipple hair. Like, I can grow a decent amount of nipple hair. Got some headshots done. Is it a bad thing for me to start looking extras roles again and stuff? Because I looked on and some, like, ones are saying there'll be COVID practices and everything's subject to new laws changing. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But should I actively be not doing that? Because I wear a mask. So at one of my jobs, I wear a mask at work. And everything. Like, I don't go, I go straight to work and I come home. I don't go out right now anymore. Like, restrictions are up and masks are recommended in New South Wales. Is it a bad thing for me to...
I've actually seen something about this, about actors on sets and like filmmakers. What they're doing is they're testing everyone who goes on set before you go on set.
Well, that's on proper production. This is the stuff I'm looking at on Star now is like, a lot of stuff's unpaid, but it's like experience. I'm fine with that. And it's cool projects. And some are like work from home and everything over like a Zoom call. But some are like, I would have to go in. I'm like, is it wrong for me to do that? Because it's technically, I'd say it's like work.
It's like...
And I'm not going out otherwise. So it's like, is it bad for me to...
I think so long as you're trying to be safe.
Yeah, if restrictions go back up and like you can't do this and only a certain amount of people, I'll be like, yeah, no, I'm not filming anything. But right now it's still like, I think 20 people in a house for like if you're doing any shindigs, but recommended 10, which honestly should just be then put it at 10. If you recommend 10, put it at 10. So as far as I know, like these are small productions, so it wouldn't be like a huge amount of people. I don't like. I've got to play it by ear, don't I? Like, just play it by ear. I feel weird because, like, I suddenly got the drive back to get into doing that stuff. Like, I lost so much drive, but then doing this, I got the drive to be creative again. I'm like, this is the worst timing.
Yeah,
to get
to try and be creative.
Try to be creative with other people.
I was literally just about to say that. Incredible.
I beat you to it.
Being creative by yourself, perfect time for it.
Exactly, because like I'm getting a 3D printer, and that's just me doing it by myself. Did I not tell you that?
No.
Oh, for my birthday, Dad chipped in and I paid the rest. I'm getting a 3D printer.
Nice. What printer?
It is called a Prusa Mini.
Really nice. I want to get a Prusa i3, I think it's called.
Well, the Mini's like really good quality for a first printer and smaller size. For the size it is, that's going to be the size of the prints I want for now. And are you gonna eat the kernels again, you bastard?
I have been eating
You've been eating the kernels already? We're not even done the popcorn.
No, I figure if I finish them before the popcorn's done, you won't even notice.
I've noticed, because you've got them, you're like moving them around like some Zen balls or something, you freak. Yeah, so I'm getting a Prusa Mini, and
nice.
I want to for prop making, and I think I can make some stuff, sell it and everything. Like, it'd be cool. But just prop making and everything, I love that stuff. Always been into building.
I made a table yesterday.
You made a table yesterday?
I needed a table in my room, so I made a table. I put it in my room, and immediately my cat jumped on it.
Of course.
I do have a video of it with my cat on it.
Oh, okay, show me.
Maybe after the podcast.
Oh, after, okay,
because
fine.
listeners can't exactly see this table with my cat on it.
Okay.
I'll quickly show it to you. That is the table. There's a cat
That's
on it.
That's a decent... That's
incredible.
actually... Wait, so you just got random wood and built it?
Yeah,
or
yeah,
is like...
that's
So it wasn't
all,
like an IKEA, like...
Yeah, no,
hey,
it's all scrap wood and shit. I've done a couple... I built a table outside as well, like a little L table. I don't like buying furniture because it's always garbage. I want to be able to stand/jump on all of my furniture, and all the shit you buy...
I agree. If you can't play floor is lava with your furniture, you're doing it wrong.
I don't want my bed to break. So I have a
like
a solid bed.
Yeah. Like your roommate in their bed. Yeah, that was my... Okay, so that was... I think that's all my topics done.
Oh, your topics... Okay, I have a topic.
You have a topic. Go.
There are 48 regular polyhedra. Did you
know?
know? There are 48. Okay, in school you learn, right? There are the 5 platonic solids, right?
What are you talking... What? I'm so confused.
Okay, D&D dice. You know the shapes of D&D dice?
Yes, of course.
Those are the platonic solids,
I
right?
play...
They are the regular polyhedra. There are actually 48 of them. This is leading on to a different point, which is school bad. But we'll get there when we get there.
School is bad.
So I watch
the education is good. The schooling system is bad.
I'm on YouTube, as you do, and occasionally I just like to watch an absurdly long video on something that like I don't give a shit about, and by the end I'm like, this is incredible. Actually, I guess I do give a shit about it if I'm watching it. But
Yeah.
I see this video, it's called There Are 48 Regular Polyhedra, and I go,
I'm going to click on that.
That's like piques my interest. And I learn, wow, there are, in fact, more polyhedra. And so this
I was never taught that there was 5 polyhedra.
I was.
I mean, I played D&D, but like I was never in school like, remember kids, there are 5 polyhedra.
Yeah, no, there are the 5 like shapes that you can have. Icosahedron's like the biggest one.
What
Anyway,
year were you taught this?
I don't fucking know. I know that I was taught it at some point.
What subject? Math?
Probably.
Because that makes sense for me. I hated math.
See,
And I dropped out of math
liked
in year 11. Wow.
Math good.
Math is good. I'm decent at math. I do all the math in my D&D games because it's like it's that whole square of like when you're bisexual, it's like you can do math, drive, or cook, and you can only pick 2. And I can do math and cook.
I can do all 3.
Fuck.
Shit.
What does that make you? A god.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Anyway, school bad. So
School
leads me
bad.
on to another point.
Mm-hmm.
School teaches you all these things that are just wrong, but they don't tell you that they're wrong. Like, it's expected that you know that they're wrong, but they don't teach you that they're wrong. And then you get to, like, a higher level of education. They're like, oh, what we taught you was just a model. It's actually an incomplete model. This is the actual one. Why can't they in schools
Just say that.
just say that? Yeah,
Like,
just
look,
say,
this is the start. You will learn more of it later, but this is all you
I
need at
think
your level of learning.
something that the school system lacks is teaching people about education. Teaching people how learning works.
They just expect it's. I saw a really good point. It's the same as like when parents just go clean your room, but they never teach. They've never taught us to clean our room.
No, or same with studying. They never teach you how to study. They just expect that you're going to figure out how to study by failing.
Exactly.
If there was a class that was like 1 hour a week that was, hey, here's how to learn. Because the thing is,
and they don't do that until you're older.
Yeah.
They don't do it as like, oh, now your exams matter.
Oh,
you can do studying classes.
And they did do those studying classes. The thing is, those studying classes are so fucking dumb because not everyone studies the same way.
Exactly.
And what they do is they look at who gets the highest mark,
and they just go.
and they look at what their study methods do. Maybe they use those study methods because they're getting the highest mark.
Exactly.
Not they're getting the highest mark because they use those study methods.
Exactly.
Yeah. The thing is, people who are intelligent generally learn in a similar way. If you're really good at academic intelligence, then you're probably going to be studying in a similar way to people who are also good at academic intelligence.
Exactly. There's a rough model that you can work off together. But it's they never teach. It was a real life example. When I went to uni, before I dropped out, I did a class and they were like, you need to cite this stuff with the like Chicago citing method, whatever the hell it's called. I forgot because it's so dumb. Instead of like, and I'm like, they were like, you should know this. And I'm like, I was still 17. I graduated school a bit early, but everyone there was like 18, 17, 18, 19, that kind of age. We had a couple older students, but like, otherwise we were all fresh out of school kind of thing. And they were like, you should know this. And I was just like, fun fact, I was never taught this. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. You never taught us this. And it's like, you can't say you guys should know this as a different learning institution. If I was still at school and they said, you guys should know this, then maybe if you taught me that, sure. But we all come from different learning backgrounds, different schools, different areas, and you're an entirely new institution. You cannot expect everyone to know that, because it's like there's the New York like citation method. There's so many different, and they're like, you should know Chicago or whatever it was called. I was just like, what are you talking about? And I fucked up that, and I lost marks because I was not taught that in school. And they're like, you should know this, and I was like, I don't know. They've never taught me that. There's so many things that they expect you to know, and also then they get angry at you for not knowing. It's just like, it is not my fault that I wasn't taught. If I was taught,
the thing is, they always try and place the blame on students doing bad on the students. If
like
a student isn't engaged in a classroom and would rather do something else, maybe it's because the classroom is boring as shit.
Maybe you're a bad teacher as well.
Yeah.
Like it's not all the time. Maybe and that's the thing. It's like you can have good teachers, but kids who react in a different way. It was like I've seen some really good stuff, like similar with ADHD. Kids who like when they're drawing in class and everything, they are more engaged because it's keeping their mind active.
I had a fucking incredible math teacher who really gave me my passion for math. And he would see me like doing doodles. I'd always like in math just draw like fractals and shit. And like I'd ask him questions completely unrelated to what we're doing. I'd be like, hey, what is this? Like one was why is 0 factorial equal to 1? We weren't doing that. I was in fucking like year 8. We wouldn't do that until like year 11 or 12. But he's like, give me a second. I'm going to help the other students, and then I'll come back. And he came back and he explained it. It had nothing to do. It wasn't on the test. I didn't even need to know it. But he could see that I was interested.
You were interested to learn, and he helped cultivate that.
Yeah, because the thing is, there's two types of learning. You can either be learning shit for tests, or you can just be learning in general. And the thing is, school is meant to teach you how to learn. It's not meant to teach you how to sit exams, how to do assignments.
Exams are memory recall.
Yeah.
Exams are just memory recall.
Is shit.
Which is, I have great memory recall for things that I'm passionate about.
Yeah, the reason I hated English is because I could never memorize stuff. Mm-hmm. I really enjoy writing, but I don't want to have to memorize quotes. Mm-hmm. I want to be able to look at a piece of paper, get the quote, and then think about the quote. Because if I'm spending all my time doing memorization, I can't spend time doing analysis. Because all I'm doing is memorization.
And it was all those tests. You did test essays in for HSC, where it was you've got your source material that you're going to talk about. I talked about Billy Elliot and The Breakfast Club, and I did a couple practice essays. And basically, all you do is you write an essay about, because your topic's belonging or whatever the hell it was. I can't remember because I blocked all that out.
Yeah,
Fuck it, I don't need
belonging.
it. I think it was belonging or a journey or something like that. It was belonging, and you go in, and then you just adjust it to the question. The question's always going to be maybe a little bit different from the stuff, but it's all in the same vein of belonging. You just go, okay, I can adjust the word, and it's all just memory recall.
Yeah,
and I don't actually I analyze the movie, but I don't give a shit. It's one of the reasons I dropped out of uni, because I was there and I went to Notre Dame, and one of the I was doing a bridging course because my ATAR was shit because I didn't really try during the HSC, but my year 12 was one of the greatest years for me as a person because I didn't stress and I didn't worry about stuff because this doesn't matter for me. If you want to be a doctor, maybe try it and get a high ATAR, but for me I was I want to be an actor. And as much as I did try in drama, it was a weird year for me, but it's I don't need. I don't get an ATAR and they go, cool, you got a role now. Or I don't get a degree and they go, you got a role now. You still have to prove yourself. And for me, I was that doesn't matter for me. And I had a great year for me. But one of the reasons I dropped out of uni was if I got accepted out of my bridging course, one of the compulsory units was a religious unit because it was a religious school. I was I can't really respect that. I respect the fact that choice of religion, but I don't respect the fact just because you're a religious school, that's one of the choices you force people to do a religious component. Because they're one of the best schools for teaching and nursing in Sydney, and it's fuck, if people are atheists, just let them not have to study it.
Religion as a broad concept, or was it a specific religion?
I think it was specific. I can't remember. I could be, but it was more. It was just the point. There was a lot of compulsory units that had no relation to what I wanted to do. So I was going to do a film and degree and everything, and I had to do math and religion. I was this has nothing
and I think
to do.
That is one of the benefits of university, in that you do the things that interest you, and if it doesn't interest you, you simply don't do it.
Exactly. But with that, it was compulsory units, and I was that was one of the reasons I left. I was I'm not going to be engaged in those, and I'm going to fail the year because I'm fully engaged in this film theory class I'm in, and fully engaged in this theatre theory class that I'm in, because that's my bread and butter. I love that shit. But I could not give a crap about the other stuff. And they go, well, you didn't give a crap about that, you didn't do well, so you failed the whole thing. But I could get full marks in the other stuff. That actually is what I want to do and what matters to me. It's one of the reasons I dropped out of uni. And have you seen the movie Accepted with Justin Long?
I don't think I have now.
I think it's on Netflix still. But the premise of the movie is he doesn't get accepted to any schools because he kind of slacked off and he was, but what he does is he creates a fake school, a fake university to get into, or fake college, whatever the hell they call it in America. And he gives some to his friends because they also didn't get in. And then he has to keep building up the lie. So he has to buy a property and make it look like a university, but then they keep building up and they accidentally allow it to be joinable. So they put on the website, it's acceptance is just one click away, and they made a fake website for it. But when you click it, you actually get accepted. So a bunch of people who never got accepted to any colleges and who were the derelicts of the world and all the the idiots and the weirdos and stuff like that, they all get accepted. And so they make a fake university and let all of them decide the classes because what they want to learn. It's they go, what do you want to learn? And there's this really big commentary on why can't it be why can this not exist while you have all your rules and stuff like that? And he goes in and he goes to another university and they're all just so just beaten down. And his friend that goes there, she's I wanted to take this class, but they said I couldn't because technically it didn't relate, but I really like photography. and she was just passionate about it, and she couldn't take it because they wouldn't allow her. And it was this whole
And the thing is, people always do better in classes, and people will learn more in classes when they're passionate about it.
Exactly, and it's one of my favorite movies because it's just this whole thing of, well, why not? Like, why can't I learn what I want to learn the way I want to learn it?
See, my degree for uni, half of my subjects are elective subjects, and they can be literally fucking anything.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good. And then there are some universities and everything that have good programs. Like, I'm not saying all of them are bad, but I think overall, schooling systems and education systems need to reform. Also, fun fact: Isaac's, using my nan's heated throw blanket.
Heated throw blanket. Yeah. I'm here to say it's quite nice.
It's quite nice, and he's on the long part of the couch. Long leggy boy.
Being nice and warm.
Yes. That was a good discussion.
I could talk about schooling reform for fucking ages.
Oh, yeah.
The reason why that was on my list is because I did talk about schooling reform for about 2 hours with someone, had a big old argument.
Valid.
So I have many thoughts. That was like a week ago now. Holy shit, that was a week ago? Where did the last week go?
The time is
what is
so
going on?
weird. Time is so weird.
God, I worked on Tuesday for 14 hours. Didn't go home. Next day,
like both jobs or just one?
Both jobs.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
And then worked 4 hours at like 11 the next day.
Not good.
Really not it.
Not,
it kind of just like I woke up Tuesday morning and then I got home Wednesday night, and it's as if all that time just didn't really exist.
Yeah, I'm working 11 hours tomorrow, and I'm like, it should be fine, but it's like, I'll talk to you about it after. It's like work stuff that I'm not going to mention on the podcast. But it's like, oh man, 11-hour shift, oofed. And I've got like responsibilities at my other job that are just a mess right now. But I mean, I just talked a little bit about movies, just for so should we do a bit about movies?
We can do a little bit about movies.
Isaac has a bit about movies.
I've got a bit about movies, and that is
it's technically not a movie. It's about the movie industry.
The movie industry in general.
Yes.
Mulan.
Is a live-action Mulan movie.
First off, do they really have to fucking live-action remake everything?
Yes, because that means they'll get money, and money is all that matters.
And I think another, I guess, unsaid part of remaking them live-action is that live-action is more valid than animation as an art genre.
Which is a terrible thing.
Yeah, no, because animation is completely valid. But when you decide, all these things that are animated, we need to do them live action, you may not be saying it out loud, but what you're saying is...
You're inferring.
Live action is better than animation.
Because
we wouldn't be remaking it if we weren't going to be making it better.
And that's the thing, because the reason they remake it, it's not... If you remade because they've remastered the animated ones, and everyone goes, cool, that's nice, it looks a bit better. But when you do the live action, you bring in a more regular crowd. So, and it's all about money. They do it because money, and I get it. I hate capitalism, but I get it, why they're doing it. And that's the thing, because you'll have people who have probably never seen the live action Mulan movie. Yep. And nobody's ever seen the live, but people who've never seen the original Mulan movie, and they'll bring their kids to the live action. They go, oh, we'll watch this. It brings in a more regular audience because people see live action as more valid than animation. And I hate to say, like, I don't even want to say that Spider-Verse proved differently, and it did, but it's more like they all prove differently. Any animation proves that they're all on the same level because, like, well, not any, but most animation, like the animated DC movies are better than any live action DC movies. Like all the writing and everything, it's fantastic, and like they capture that comic essence more. But it's also like I saw Watchmen did a live they did a movie of the comic which was like
the animated comic?
The animated comic, which was like not a full animation, but it was like moving frames and stuff like that. So it was a bit like still comic-y. And that was fantastic. But it still tells the story the same. Like it still tells the story. It's just a different medium.
Anyway, so Mulan is coming out.
Mulan is coming out. I'm taking your bit.
On Disney Plus. No, this is good because the bit is not long enough to be a bit.
So we'll expand it. We'll expand like an expanded universe of Disney live action movies. Walt, get me on the phone. I know you're alive. Get me on the phone right now. Give me a check.
Just his head.
Yeah, it's like from Futurama, like he's in like one of those jars, head in a jar, Anyway, it's coming out on Disney Plus.
Anyway, it's coming out on Disney Plus, and it costs $30 to watch it.
Exactly. Like, and that's the thing. They released Onward for free. Onward was just put on Disney Plus. You already pay for Disney Plus, and you got to pay $30 to watch it.
Yeah, and Disney Plus is probably like $20 a month. Or however much.
It's like $11 a month. Like it's cheap. I don't pay for it. I use my friends. Thank you, Sarah. But you already pay for a subscription. They did Onward already. But also the fact is, that movie, when you see it in a movie theater or you buy it on DVD is max like 25. Google Play videos, you'll buy a movie for like max 25 bucks.
See, the thing is
that 30 US as well?
I don't know, probably.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So we work in a cinema and we see all the fucking ads and all the interviews, and often they say, why should you see this movie in theatre? Why should you pay extra to see this movie? That's literally
the question they always ask.
Always ask it. And what they say is it's a better experience seeing it with other people, seeing it on a big screen with good sound.
Surround sound.
You don't get that at home.
Yeah.
Unless
you've got a home movie system.
Okay, so right now movies are what? Fucking $10 at the cinema because no one's going.
Yeah, no one's going, so they've got to get people in to buy all the food.
So they're $10.
They're $10.
So you can pay 3 times as much and you don't even get the cinema experience.
Exactly.
Or what you can do is you can wait a month to when Mulan is just put on Disney Plus for free and then watch it then.
Have they confirmed that after a month it'll be free?
I don't know. Do you think they're just going to make it so you always have to pay money to see it? Probably not.
After a certain amount of time, they're going to have to release it, but I don't know if it's going to be a month. Because didn't they do that with Onward, where they... Actually, did they charge for Onward to begin with and then did it free after that?
I'm not too sure.
Or is it just...
Probably.
No, sorry. I know Onward came out on other streaming services like Google Play Movies, and you could pay for it. And then a month after that, Disney released it for free. I'm pretty sure that was what happened. But it's that, that's the thing. You're not getting the experience. And any other time you purchase on Google Play Movies, I have max paid for an HD movie $25.
Yeah,
and that's like new movies as well. That's new movies. This is 30. I want to know if it's 30 USD or 30 AUD. Because if it's 30 USD, that's even more. That's like 50 AUD. Which
that would be surely too expensive.
I think it's going to be 30 AUD. Like, it's got to be 30 AUD. But like, even when you go to the cinema, normally tickets are $20.
Yeah.
Tickets are $20, and then you can buy food if you want. Or you can
$30 you can see with multiple people, but still,
it's not like you're...
So it looks like it is 30 USD.
It's 30 USD?
Yeah, because it says it costs $7 a month, which will also be USD.
Yeah. 30 USD.
Yeah.
To watch United States of American dollars, which are honestly worth nothing nowadays, morally, and you don't even get the cinema experience.
Oh, and they can watch it for as long as they remain active Disney Plus subscribers. So if you stop paying the $7 a month, you don't even get to keep the movie.
Buy it on... Because, okay... Are Disney only going to keep it on Disney Plus, or will it be allowed to come out on other streaming services like Google Play Movies, where you can purchase it? Because with Google Play Movies, as long as you have a Gmail account,
they'll probably release it on Google Play Movies when it comes out on DVD.
Yes. So at that point, wait, because also, well, there's all the whole stuff about the actress who plays Mulan, like supporting the CCP, but then there's also the theory that her family will get killed by the CCP if she doesn't be like, yeah, CCP. So, that's fun. But we talked a little bit before we started about streaming services and the rise of piracy and how there are so many streaming services.
There are too many.
There are too many that because I'm willing to pay for content because the thing, so when we watched The Mummy, I paid $15 to watch that.
Yeah.
But you know what? I now have that. Like, technically I pay for Amazon Prime, but I think even if I don't have a Prime membership, I may be able to watch it. Either way, I paid for it. But I pay for movies on Google Play all the time. Because I'm like, I can't find I'm willing to pay for content because thankfully, I'm financially stable enough position where once every couple of weeks I can go, I'll blow $20 on a movie. I can do that. I'm lucky enough, and there are people that aren't. I'm not going to lie. There are obviously, we're not going to get into the full, people in poverty who don't have the access to media and stuff like that. So thankfully, I am in a position where I can do that. And I'm willing to pay for content. But what I'm not willing to do is pay for 11 different streaming services every month to watch a couple different things.
God, even just keeping on top of payment, that would be so fucking
it's all direct debit, but the thing is, I go, oh, cool, I have money, and then it's like, oh, this subscription came out. I was like, fuck, are you kidding me? And it's Sony, it's like, what happened was, the DC was, or HBO Max, DC was coming out with their streaming service or something, I can't remember, something recently, and then Foxtel bought the rights for it. Foxtel in Australia bought the rights for it, and now you have to have some kind of Foxtel subscription instead of just an HBO subscription to watch it. And then it's just like, what? Like, it's people are greedy, and it's the reason Foxtel and pay TV is going to the ground. Foxtel and other services, which I technically can't mention for legal reasons, my In the next 3 years, I will say gone.
You
I
reckon?
would not be surprised if Foxtel was, because Foxtel's already hanging on by a fucking thread. Because all they have left to them is sports, and now they have KO Sports. Like, you have KO Sports. All the other streamings, all the other stuff, yeah, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, and that stuff, sure. But some other streaming services have that. You can find that online, and you've got other streaming services with the shows, essentially. There are other, pay TV things that have those channels as well. So in the next 3 years, I wouldn't be surprised if pay TV on that level gets driven into the fucking ground, because Foxtel's so fucking expensive. My nan got rid of her Foxtel a couple of years back because she only kept it for the kids coming over, and then we all got old enough. I mean, I still watch a cheeky bit of Nickelodeon every once in a while, and chuck it on there, oh yeah, bit of cheeky stuff on there. But anyway, she got rid of it. Not fucking need it. It's so expensive.
Yeah. See, I have a kind of different philosophy for you for paying for things.
Okay.
So I can pay for things.
Yes.
I have the money. Most of the time I don't.
Mm-hmm.
What I do pay for is small artists. So I don't want to be paying for if I buy a movie, let's say Star Wars, none of that money is going to people who need it.
Yes,
that money is going to
greedy corporations.
Literally, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Or same with music. Let's say, oh hey, I like some band.
Yeah.
The Beatles say.
I did want to
get a
talk about that with
Beatles record.
Spotify and how they stinge out on.
And then,
stuff,
hey, who's the money going to? It's not going to an individual who made anything. It's going to a company who owns the intellectual rights. So I do buy things, but what I do buy is things from small bands, like really small bands, like one person.
Find their
making
band
music.
camp. Find their band, and you pay on their band
and
camp.
I will give them money because I enjoy the content that they make.
Exactly.
Or even like small creators on the internet, I'll give them money because I enjoy the content they make. And like,
that's why I really like Coffee as an idea. That was KOFI. People can make an account. And you can donate in $3 USD bouts, and you can just be like, "Hey, I like your stuff. Here's a tip," kind of thing. I really like that idea.
Because buying movies, like big movies, generally won't. You as an individual won't be supporting someone's lifestyle.
Of course,
The amount of people you need to see a movie is like millions in order for it to turn a profit.
Yeah.
You being one individual won't change much. Whereas you could buy like a $20 band t-shirt from some small band that you like, and that could genuinely pay for their dinner that night.
Exactly. The reason I buy, I do want to change that, but it's I buy for convenience. And like I said, I am completely in the monetary standing where I can do that every once in a while, and I'm going to be fine. And I'm very lucky in that sense. And I do it for convenience sake, and that's why I talked to my friend. I'm like, I am fine to pay for services. Because piracy was huge in Australia before Netflix hit. Piracy was huge. As soon as Netflix hit, it took a massive dive.
And then Netflix keeps getting shit.
And then they tried to make what was it? There was one because there was Stan, and then there was another one. It started with P. Presto. I think, and then Presto just got driven to the ground because people are like, no, we've got the other ones.
Yeah.
And then there's still Stan, which is fine, but then they've got like Hey You now and stuff like that.
Disney Plus. There's just
Disney
so
Plus.
many.
And now there's so
Amazon
many.
Prime.
Amazon Prime.
See, the thing is, are we? Here's a question. Are we arguing for monopolization?
That's the thing.
Because we kind of are. In this instance, a monopoly would be convenient.
Convenient, but also they still have the people that are currently doing it aren't like small businesses. It's also so Amazon bought out this. I was talking to a friend about it. They bought out this audiobook company. And then they made it completely obsolete so they could push Audible. Yeah. So Audible's by Amazon. They made it completely obsolete to push out Audible. And the thing is, people who bought audiobooks on there and you could listen to them. As soon as they made that thing obsolete, people couldn't download their audiobook. They couldn't have those books. They pay for those books and now they don't own them anymore. And it's a question of what do you own? But that's the thing, these companies that own these streaming services, it's annoying, but they're all big companies.
I think the issue is they're not offering an actual product.
Yeah.
What does... If say, Netflix went out of business, would anything really change? No, those rights would be bought off by other companies. The thing is, intellectual property is kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
And when you have a lot of streaming services, they're just going to try and make more money off their intellectual property.
Exactly.
Because they're not actually offering you anything physically. They're not even giving you a disc that has a movie on it. They're literally just saying, you're allowed to watch this if you give us money. And because there's a whole bunch of them, they all are saying you're allowed to watch different things if you give them money.
Exactly. And it's like, a monopoly is good, but also like in terms of convenience. But a monopoly is bad in terms of greedy corporations.
Well, it's not even like a monopoly in a different... let's say you're making pillows. There could be two companies, and one could offer a better pillow. They just build their pillow better than the other. So you could have preferences either way. Whereas with streaming services, they're not offering a different service. Because the thing is, they buy the rights for other movies. Like, if one company had all of the intellectual property, then that wouldn't change. That wouldn't mean that like you couldn't watch a certain movie because it would just be on their platform.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't remove choice if there's less companies, and having more companies doesn't give you more choice. It actually gives you less choice, and you end up having to pay more money.
Exactly, because there's like there's something on Netflix, something cool, but then it's not on something. It's on Stan instead, and I have to go cool. Now I have to go pay for Stan to get on there. And they do all these free trials to get you in. You got to put your card in. But yeah, I completely agree there, because the thing with pillows is they're both the same thing. Like, they do a better pillow, but it's not like, hey, here's as an example, the TV show Community. Yeah. And here's Community, but better. Like, it's not like there's that two things. There's literally, here's the TV show Community. Oh, and we now have The Office. Yeah. And they're two separate shows, but you want to watch them both, you've got to pay for them separately. Pillows, it's like, okay, that's an alright pillow, that's a nicer pillow. But the same thing, I want them for the same thing. While they're two different shows, I want to watch them for two different, they're two different shows. Yeah. So having a monopoly, I feel is like, I don't want Netflix to have a monopoly, because then they will start to decide the rules on content, and it'll be a different issue entirely.
I think overall, what should be done? Just fucking remove intellectual property. Just be like, yeah, you got 5 years of copyright. After that, it's public domain.
I feel like it depends on what, though, because if we made bit movies and then in 5 years they were like, oh, anyone can do bit movies.
No, not anyone can do it, but anyone can distribute it. So do like a GNU, general public license.
Yeah. So it's like, as long as it's not like reused like that, it's got to be distribution.
And if you remake it, it has to be under the same license that it was originally made. So if I make a movie and I release it for free, and you remake that movie, you also have to release it for free.
Yeah, because it's the same reason why Fantastic Four was still with Fox for so long. Because what happened was, so there was a Fantastic Four movie in the 90s that never got released because I think it's Fox that owns them, right? Yeah, not anymore. I think Disney now does, but I'm pretty sure it was Fox that owned them. They made a movie in the 90s, a Fantastic Four movie that was really 90s and awful, but like fun. Never got released because all they just needed to do was make the movie for the rights, and then they got to keep the rights for another year. And then they made the 2000s ones, and and that's the stupidest thing. It's like, I feel like, because it's the same like when you go to like, there are certain laws, like there's a thing called jury nullification, where you can go, hey, I don't think this law, like this person shouldn't be punished for breaking this law because it was the reason they did it was just, or something like that. No,
jury nullification is, yes, they broke the law, but as a member of the jury, I don't want to convict them because I think the law is stupid.
Yeah, the law is stupid.
Basically, it's that fucking Nick Fury line.
Exactly. I like that. I recognise that the council's made a decision, but I've elected to
ignore the decision because it's fucking stupid.
It's fucking stupid. And I feel like it should be similar with that, where it's like, well, you should be able to like take it to a court, and they go like, well, you're clearly making it just for the rights. This is a pattern, and you now don't get the rights. Yeah. Like, and it can be,
well, yeah, because when it comes down to it, people should own things because they use them. Yeah. People should own intellectual property because they use them.
Exactly.
But people shouldn't own intellectual property just because they want to make money off it, so they just keep making it, because that's not really making it. I'm sure that there are people who are very passionate about Fantastic Four who could make a phenomenal Fantastic Four movie. But if you just keep remaking it just because you want to keep the rights to it, kind of fucking stupid.
Exactly. But and then it comes like the other side of like, with intellectual property, like, yes, but I also don't want 3 Fantastic Four movies from 3 different companies every year, because that's just going to, oversaturate the market, be terrible. Well, there's going to be other problems coming. There's always going to be a problem from everything. Anything that happens in the world, as soon as you fix one thing, there's always going to be some other problem, but you reduce it as much as you can. You get it to as small of a problem as you can. And I want Fantastic Four movies to be good, And I enjoyed the 2000s ones. They were fun, they were campy, they were very comic. But I want Fantastic Four movies to be good. I don't want 8 different Fantastic Four movies a year.
Well, I'm sure you wouldn't see most of them. Most of the 8.
No, I feel like I would have to. As a movie podcaster, I feel like I would have to.
Yeah, fair enough.
And talking about Fantastic Four, I would also like to talk about something completely unrelated to Fantastic Four, but this is me trying to do a segue.
Oh, I was just about to talk about something as well.
Oh, no, yeah, well, because
I was just going to say just about rights. I know
yes.
what Star Trek does is if you're making something not for profit, you're allowed to use their intellectual property. So I know...
So like fan films.
Yeah, there was this
fan films.
really awesome fan web series that Grant Imahara was in, who was playing Sulu and also did some effects for it.
Was it the animated one?
I don't think it was animated, no. It was a live action.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure. And like, they were allowed to release it, and it's like, it's not canon, but it almost is, and it was really good. Because people should just be able to make shit, and like, you should be able to play a song and not get fucked over by a company.
Exactly, because like, I'm not making money off the fucking song.
And like, there are some bands that block all of their music. Who's gonna listen to your music if no one can listen to your music? Exactly.
But going back to Spotify, one of the things I hate about Spotify is like, what's the statistic? It's like an artist makes 0.002 cents per one fucking, like 1,000 listens or something like that. So like Spotify stiffs artists a massive amount as well, which is really upsetting. But I don't think we have time to get into that discussion. No. We will on Bit Music, but yeah, we don't have time to get into that discussion. But talking about music, how about let's talk about kids?
Let's talk about kids. Sure, why not? What about?
Because this is my segue into we have for our sponsor for this episode.
Oh
yes, Isaac. You've heard of Ancestry.com, right?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, so Ancestry.com is a website where you can put in your details and you can make an account. I think you pay for it, and you can go back into your history and find out about all your past relatives and stuff like that. Well, this is Descendantry.com. It's a site that tells you about your future generation. See, the team at Descendantry.com have hired some of the world's best psychics to figure out exactly which one of your future family are going to start the zombie apocalypse.
Incredible.
They have hired just some of the best psychics in the world.
Best in the world.
Best in the world. To spend all the day. It's like, it's precogs. It's Minority Report, except nobody's getting arrested.
Yeah.
Because Minority Report... Crime. Because the whole point of Minority Report is that's fucked up. It's Minority Report, but not for crime. But crimes may happen.
Crimes may happen.
Crimes may happen in the future, and they can tell you because... The best part about it is they have all the questions and none of the answers. Because when you go to Ancestry.com, you get answers. You go, oh, that's why I was named Bob after my grandfather, or that's why we have a Scottish last name because we were Scottish.
Yeah.
Descendantry.com, all the questions, none of the answers. So you can ask yourself things like, why do I have a niece named Rona and a nephew named SARS? And the classic, when will I die? Because they can tell you that.
Ooh.
They can tell you go onto you click on you, and it'll tell you. How many kids you had? How many nephews? When are you going to die?
Okay, so just a quick question. I've used a couple of those services that tell you when you're going to die.
Yes.
And usually they send hitmen after you to make sure you die at that date. Does Descendantry.com have an assurance that they won't go out of their way to kill you?
No, but you know what they do? Because the future is always changing. But if the psychics have a future vision where they see that you die on a different date, they update the website. And you get a notification.
Nice.
You get a notification on any changes in your future, and you can pay for a certain amount of years. So you can actually go on the website and you go, I want to know 10, 20, 50 years into the future of my
or maybe
genealogy.
You only want to know 200 years in the future. You don't have to pay for all the other stuff.
You don't have to pay for all the other stuff. You can organize, so they have main packages. They have their main packages, which is up to, and you know all in between. But you can organize with a consultant to have a specific year. Like, I always just want to know 200 years. You know, I've been to the year 3000. Not much has changed, but they do live underwater. And your great-great-great-granddaughter, she is doing fine. Just so you know.
Good to know.
Just so you know. But you guys, you can head to Descendantry.com/thisisexessential-as-fuck and enter promo code BITMOVIES. That's, do you want to say it this time?
BITMOVIES.
You said that so differently from the way I say it. I hated that, so I'm going to redo it. You can put in promo code BITMOVIES. That's BITMOVIES in threes. You absolute monster.
Right. BITMOVIES. Yes.
I really hated all of that, but you can go to descendantry.com/thisisexistential-as-fuck and enter promo code BITMOVIES for your first month free.
Incredible.
Because it is a continuous subscription, unfortunately. Hopefully, since they have psychics, they can quash any other competition for this kind of thing. So they can gain a monopoly on this.
Okay, what if I want to see into the future to see what... Okay, I buy subscription for a month.
You buy a subscription for a month.
And in that month, I look at the next month.
Yes.
And tell them that I'm going to continue my subscription and look at the results from that month. But then I cancel my subscription.
No, you can't do that. They've thought of that. They've thought of that.
Damn.
You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed if you only pay for it. Because you can do, I just want to know a month into the future. It basically is just a fancy psychic service, but you can find out because you can find out about all your future generations. They'll know about that. They'll know about SARS and COVID, nieces and nephews and all that stuff. They'll know about little Rona.
Little Rona?
Little Rona.
God, I feel so sorry for... There are going to be people called
They are. Okay, that's the bit done. There are kids, there were twins who were named Corona and COVID, I believe. Because Corona does mean crown, which is fine, but it's in the context of everything. Because that'd be like, during everything, naming your child... At the time, ISIS. Like there are people named. I know people called ISIS.
I know people named ISIS.
Exactly, but it's at the time you don't name your kid ISIS. It's it's a certain. It's like you don't name your kid Nazi, ever. But actually, I do. My friend knows somebody named Swastika.
Swastika.
So they're Indian, and there's like the it's the original. Like their family isn't religious apparently, but they like the name Swastika, and she goes by Swasti. Swasti's her nickname. And I'm like, you know what? She's taken it with stride. She's taken it in her stride. She's like, hey, I'm Swasti. My real name's Swastika. And it's like, okay.
I think, sometimes you do have to just leave a word alone, but I think sometimes some words can be reclaimed.
Oh yeah, definitely. But it's like, don't name your kid COVID
no,
or Corona.
Not
Fuck
right
no.
Now,
that is
right
so
now.
like Corona.
Especially because you're not naming them because you think it's a nice name. You're naming them
for a drink
because it's topical and because people will talk about
exactly. And when those kids grow up, they're gonna change their names legally. Apparently, there's a kid called Lysol. Which is I don't know. It's a disinfectant in America. Well, I don't think we have it here. But like in America, it's a famous disinfectant brand. They named their kid Lysol, which is
don't name your kids dumb
shit because it's funny and topical, like Lachlan. I don't know why that was topical, but it was a shit name to give me, mum and dad. So it's just. Yeah, don't fucking name your kids that.
Don't name your kids. Don't have kids.
Don't name. No, have kids. Don't name your kids.
Don't name them. Let
just
them
be like,
find their own name.
Hello, come over here.
Hello,
and
child.
No. Just a blank. You open your mouth and no noise comes out. Hello. How are you going? Exactly. And then they'll be like, my name is. Nice to meet you. We're opening our mouths every time there's silence there, just so the listeners know. Yeah.
We should do a silent podcast.
Well, no, that's what we were saying. We should do a sign language,
or even just a podcast where we talk, but only by moving our mouths, and it's just the mouth noises of a conversation without any of the words.
So it's like mukbang. It's ASMR. Yeah. It's ASMR.
Or no, we do an episode where we it's recorded and we just move our mouths, and then people can voice over it.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's incredible. Or we record an entire hour-long segment of us just having a conversation.
Yeah.
And then we record over it, and it just doesn't sync up at all. That's amazing.
A lip syncing.
We need to okay. So we've got us lip syncing ourselves terribly. We've got just our hands. Yeah. We've got just our legs down, possibly only in underwear. And then we also have sign language podcast. Apparently, once I am better at Auslan, I did actually buy a Auslan teaching app on Android. It costs $20. It's by the actual Australian Auslan group. So they have one that's a key sign book, which is free. My friend Alex from Instagram, doubt you're listening, but if you are, thank you. Thank you for the mask as well. They make masks. If you guys want I'm going to plug their masks because they're a local company. Okay. They told me there's a key sign one and there's a full sign one that does full lessons and teaches you everything. It's $20. I've downloaded it. I haven't looked at it yet, but I'm really keen to look at it and learn more sign language.
I think we should, every time we see each other, we should greet each other with a phrase and then teach the other person the phrase.
Ooh.
We should have a new phrase every time we see each other, and then we can both just kind of learn it.
I know, which is, how are you? Is that fuck off?
No, that's we live in a society.
Okay, you can teach me that one after. But anyway, if you guys, so yeah, it is. COVID's still happening. If you are in New South Wales, masks are highly recommended.
Get a mask.
Get a mask. They're highly recommended.
Get a reusable mask.
Yes.
Like if you're not getting a reusable mask, it's like $1 every time you go out. That's kind of expensive. Just get a reusable one.
Work gave us my other, not the cinema, the other one gave us reusable masks. And I finally got my masks in. So make sure you're getting like a AAA mask, and hopefully with a pocket. All you need to put in there is a coffee filter. A coffee filter is more than enough. You just put one in, and then you got to wash them every day. So you can only wear them once a day, and then you got to wash them. But
and make sure if you have a reusable mask, when you take it off, you're not touching the front of it and then doing other shit. You should place it somewhere and then sanitize your hands and then wash it and then sanitize your hands again.
And that's going to take time to getting used to. But you can breathe in masks. I literally have gone to cons and Spider-Man masks and breathed all the fucking time.
I think people have been averse to masks because they have thought that this is going to be a short thing.
Yes.
And so they're like, I'm not going to get into wearing masks. Like, even me personally, I've been like,
at the start,
at the start, I was like, this is going to be over soon. Like, I would wear a mask, but I'm not going to because it'll be over soon.
And also,
this is not going to be over until the end of the year, at least. And
also, we were very lucky in the northern beaches that we didn't have many cases. Like, we kind of have started getting some. There was one in Manly recently.
The beaches was going to go off. No one on the beaches wears masks.
No one on the beaches wears masks.
Every time I go, so I live Western Sydney, and every time I come to work at Warringah Mall on the northern beaches, everyone always stands so close to me. No one pays, like, walking in a shopping mall, like, when people care, is everyone, like, getting out of their way, whereas the beaches, no one gives a shit. Someone stood next to me on the escalator. What are they doing?
No, the amount of times I had to tell people to, like, stand 1.5 meters is ridiculous. But I finally got a mask, and no, I'm not, I was going to say something shitty, but I'm not. But yeah, no, like, it's Northern Beaches, we're very lucky where we didn't have that many cases, but it's still very insular peninsula attitude where you wear a mask, especially New South Wales public transport as well, please. If you're not getting reusable ones, you can get disposable ones, but reusable better. You just need a coffee filter in there. So my friend Alex, spinning.daisies on Instagram, they make also cool dresses and skirts, and they use the offcuts of those materials actually to make the masks.
That's cool.
They are they're Aussie. They are, which I mean, buy from anywhere, support everyone. But they're a local artist, and if you want really good quality masks, like I think I got 3. They're $10 each, and they're like,
that is fucking good pricing.
Yeah, that's really good pricing, and then $5 for shipping. Ozpost was a bit weird, but they got here. They're really good quality. They fit really well. You can breathe in a mask. It looks really cool. I just got some standard black ones because I was like, I'm not too. Maybe I'll get some nice pattern ones. But I was like, I just want some like
reasonable ones. They're black. I'll start with black. If I feel like I want to do like a floral one eventually, I can.
Exactly, because I was like, I just want something that I can wear to work that looks a bit more professional, like standard, stock standard, and I can feel. Okay, so there was a guy on Etsy who made Spider-Man ones that the only ones I like because they looked exactly like the mask. But the only problem is they're only 2-layer and they're polyester and they don't have a pocket for a filter. So I was like, look, I would, but if you make ones with pockets for a filter, hit me up. I'll buy one.
And those ones can be good for wearing a normal, like a surgical mask, and then you wear one over the top because surgical mask kind of looks dumb.
Yeah, like a lot of people are worried. They're like, oh, it'll make me look dumb. And it's like you'll be in a
get a nice mask. Then
get a nice mask, but also, would you rather be in a coffin? Like it's either open casket.
Like I agree, the blue surgical mask really not ideal.
Yeah,
buy a $10 just a black fabric reusable mask.
I wore my mask home. I had my hoodie up. I looked badass. I loved it. I looked like an assassin.
And it's the perfect fucking time to commit crime.
Exactly.
Go out, commit crime.
I think face masks should just be a standard even after COVID because stop the surveillance state. They can't see who I am. Wear a hoodie. Wear a mask. Fight crime. Like exactly. I'm like I have half masks like that, so honestly, I think I'm just gonna wear a mask all the fucking time.
Masks,
even after COVID. But yeah,
it's like glasses in that people can't see that you're looking at them, except people can't see that you're like smiling at them because they're dumb.
That's the thing.
You can chuckle at people.
I have a lot of facial expression, especially with customers. I banter a lot. They can't see when I'm like smiling because also like we have customers be dickheads, and I try to like fake smile. Like, oh yeah, that's so terrible. Or like, aha, I love it, but they can't see. I'm like, you can't see me emoting, and I don't want you to yell at me because I'm not emoting and I'm trying to fake it, please. So Wear Mask, Spinning Daisies on Instagram, and that's their website as well. They make tons of masks. They have so many different patterns. They're also super lovely. And they're also the one that got me onto that Auslan book and teaching me a bit of Auslan. So they're really for Alex. Love ya. Thank you for the mask. Wear a mask, guys.
Wear a mask.
That's it. That's our final thing for the
Our
episode.
final point.
Oh wait. No, sorry. Macaulay Culkin, come on the podcast.
Yes.
I still haven't emailed him because I got busy. I was away for a week. I'm giving myself genuine credit of I was busy. But Macaulay Culkin, wear a mask, please. I don't want you to get sick, Macaulay. We can't let you die. Please, Macaulay. I bet you are. I bet you're one of the person that wears a mask when you go out anyway.
Oh, he does.
I think I saw a photo of him wearing a mask, actually. Anyway, Macaulay Culkin, wear a mask. Everyone wear a mask, please. But Macaulay Culkin, come on the podcast. Podcast is a really great name for like a wine drinking, like a wine tasting podcast where you drink wine. Podcast. Oh
shit!
I don't drink, but I so would just for that. I mean, I have fake wine. We were possibly gonna drink fake wine for this, but we didn't. Wine. Macaulay Culkin, wear a mask. Everyone wear a mask. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh crap.